Welcome to this tutorial about hardware locking Excel workbooks with XLS Padlock. You've created an amazing Excel spreadsheet and want to make money from it. But here's the problem. As it is, anyone can share or distribute it for free. XLS Padlock is a powerful tool designed to protect and control access to your Excel workbooks. By using hardware locking, XLS Padlock ensures that your files can only be opened on authorized devices. This means even if the workbook is shared, only users with the right hardware credentials can access it, adding a vital layer of security to your sensitive data. Moreover, XLS Padlock gives you tools to manage licenses for your customers. In this tutorial, we'll walk you through the steps to set up hardware locking with XLS Padlock and secure your Excel files effectively. Today, we'll explore the features offered by the protection software XLS Padlock. To begin, we'll open an Excel workbook. Here we have a fairly simple workbook with a few sheets. We're going to transform it into a secure application using XLS Padlock. To do this, we'll compile it into executable files. Executable files are the basic format recognized by Windows. XLS Padlock is quite straightforward to use. You simply need to click this big button to create your secure application. It uses default settings that you can, of course, customize, because it's primarily a protection software for Excel, rich in features grouped under different icons. You can add various restrictions, protect your VBA code, manage client backups, and so on. Today, we're focusing on creating a secure workbook. We'll return to the starting point without changing anything. I recommend keeping this option if you're hesitant to distribute executable files, or if your clients use antivirus software. This way, you won't encounter any issues when you use this option. Let's proceed to create the secure application. As you can see, in a few seconds it's ready and we can test it. When you launch it, you have the option to start with the original workbook or load a recent backup. We'll start with the original workbook, and as you can see, it's the usual Excel interface. However, a few small changes have been made. You can no longer save the file wherever you want, and certain formulas are now invisible. We can work with the Excel workbook just as we normally would. Everything functions perfectly. Let's close the software. Once you've created an application, it is generated here. These are the two files that now make up your application, which you will need to distribute to your clients. Note that there's an option called Distribute Application, which allows you to do this even more easily by creating a zip file for distribution. I'll save it here. Now the file is created. All that's left is to distribute this zip file to our clients. You can even run it directly. Extract all, there we go. We see the usual screen, and of course we can immediately start working again with our Excel file. Now we'll go a bit further. Our goal is obviously not to allow just anyone to use our workbook. For example, we have an application for which we wish to sell licenses, meaning the user must pay us before being able to access the workbook. To achieve this, we can restrict access by using keys. Imagine your Excel file is like a house. Inside, there's valuable information that you want to protect. You don't want just anyone to enter, only those who have the correct key. Without this key, access is impossible. This is where XLS Padlock comes in. XLS Padlock lets you lock down your Excel files. Each user receives a unique activation key, just like a tenant receiving a key to enter the house. When you distribute a protected file, you can generate specific activation keys for each user. They can only open the file with this key. This ensures that only those you've granted access to can enter and use your data, making it inaccessible to anyone else. With XLS Padlock, you control who can access your Excel files safely and securely. Let's return to our Excel workbook that we want to secure with activation keys. We're now on the licensing option. To make our application request activation keys, we need to check the following option. Then, of course, we want to ensure that these keys cannot be shared among users. That is, a given key should not work on more than one computer. In other words, a user's key should be locked to their own machine. It's the second option that you should select. Finally, we just need to recompile the secured application, and we can test the changes. Now, instead of displaying the workbook directly, the application shows a dialog box asking us to enter the activation key. To proceed, the client must provide us with a unique system ID that depends on their computer and is displayed by the application. The client simply clicks Copy to Clipboard and sends us this system ID via email or any other agreed-upon method of contact. Now, let's suppose we've received the client's request for a key. We go to XLS Padlock, then to the key generator, and we input the client's system ID. By the way, it's entirely possible to configure the key with certain restrictions. For example, you can make the key valid for a certain number of uses, or have it expire after a set number of days or on a specific date. For this tutorial, we'll simply generate a basic key. There we go, the key has been generated. We just need to send it to the client as a text file or simply copy it into an email. Now, suppose we're the client. We receive our activation key. We restart the application, and in the dialog, we can paste this key to activate the software. A message confirms the validation. Then the application opens normally. It is now activated. Note, it's possible for the client to modify their key if needed. For example, if you want to extend their trial period. To go further, you can also add a deactivation feature, allowing clients who wish to change computers to obtain a new key and ensuring that the user isn't requesting activations for computers other than their own. A potential issue with this system is that, as you might imagine, it can be tedious to receive client system IDs, generate keys, and send them back, especially if you have hundreds of clients. Obviously, XLS Padlock offers tools to automate the delivery of activation keys, even hardware-locked ones, by using what's called online activation. Automation frees up your time to focus on your Excel workbooks. But that will be for another video.